What Lonzo Thinks is a wide-ranging discussion where I speak about everything from music, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, movies, you name it. If it's going down, I'm jumping on it. Alright, next up in my series of Prince reviews, I am reviewing every studio album from the first to the last. I am on the 5th album, which is 1999. 1999 was released on October 27th, 1982. Like I said, it's his 5th studio album, and a lot of people consider 1999 to be his breakthrough album, the one that really pushed him into the consciousness of American mainstream pop, rock, soul music. And I think that's pretty accurate because it really spawned his biggest hits to date at that time. Of course, he had a huge hit with I Want to Be Your Lover from his second album. Also, he had a very widely acclaimed album, which was Dirty Mind, which was his third album. And of course, Controversy also was very well regarded as well, but it was more along the lines of a R&B niche hit versus a mainstream pop phenomenon. In 1999 definitely was that album that pushed him over the top, so to speak. Now, first of all, I want to say that I just had a discussion about 1999 and the merits of it with my good friend Sean Hill, who unfortunately passed away a few days later. So I'm dedicating this review to you, Sean. Hang in there, bro. Rest in peace. I know you're up there and you're looking down on me, and you're probably chopping it up with Prince right now and tell him I said what up as well. Alright, basically what I've been doing is going through every track and just give my brief, quick snapshot of each track, and then I'll just kind of sum it up. The first track, of course, on the album is 1999, which was a pop and R&B hit and is one of his strongest songs ever. The song opens with, which was new for Prince, opens with Jill Jones and Lisa singing the first verse along with Des Dickerson. I was dreaming when I wrote this, forgive me if it goes astray, but when I woke up this morning, could have sworn it was Judgment Day. And that was strange because Prince is such a control freak and he did everything by himself. So when I first heard this album way back in the day, that kind of shocked me. The first time I heard this song, I was like, hey, wait a minute, who's that singing? And it really added something to the track that he had Jill and Lisa along with Dez, because they have different sounding voices. So juxtapose those voices against Prince's voice, it really added to the song. And of course, it's a great dance party number. Has great subject matter. It's talking about obviously 1999, about destruction, war, partying, and it really takes you, it pulls you into the album from the very first note, and it doesn't let you go. It's a great opening song, a great title track that really pulls you into the album. Next up is Little Red Corvette, which was the huge hit from this album. It made the top 10, pop and R&B. And it's one of his most popular songs to date. Everybody loved it. It became a big mainstream hit. And of course, it's one of the nastiest songs he ever wrote, ever performed. And dumb people out there who don't understand what he's talking about, it's kind of funny because obviously the song is about sex. And a lot of people, I think he's talking about a car. It's a great song, though. I love it. And it's a great segue from 1999 into the next track, which is Delirious, which is another awesome song. Now, Delirious is it's one of those songs that really defined the Minneapolis sound. It's infectious, it's cute, it's quirky. It's kind of hard to describe this song other than the fact that it's delirious, and I guess that's the perfect title for it because the song sounds delirious. It's all over the place, but it's restrained at the same time. And this song feels like fun. I can just imagine Prince laying this track down in the studio, and it just feels like he was having a lot of fun doing that song because it's a fun song, great lyrics, just a tremendous song, and it makes me jealous listening to him do it because I wish I could. It could have been me. Let's Pretend We're Married. Now, this is a song that it's an awesome song, by the way. It's a song that it really has to be an acquired taste because it's a deep song. It's eclectic. It's off the beaten path, and the melodies are really specific to his sound, and it's definitely an album cut, not anything that'll ever be released as a single. And I think a lot of people kind of downgrade this song because it is so challenging of a song because you really got to listen to the lyrics. And of course, you know, it's about pretending that they're married. He and his lover getting buck wild as if they were married. And one of the greatest lines from any Prince song, "Excuse me, Martha, but I'm not saying this just to be nasty, but I sincerely want to fuck the taste out of your mouth. Can you relate? My girl's gone and she don't care at all." And if she did, I wouldn't care. Let's ball. Dude was nasty. Automatic. I'm sorry. The next song is DMSR. Another one of his more popular tracks. It's definitely it was a club banger, more of a party song. And back in the day, you heard this at a lot of parties. And it's a song that sounds great to drive to. It's a great song to drive to. It's a nice sunny day, windows down, system up. And DMSR stands for Dance, Music, Sex, Romance. And it's just an awesome party jam. And this song got a little bit more publicity because it was in the movie Risky Business, which was a huge hit at the time as well. And that song was highlighted during that movie, so that really raised the profile of DMSR. And there's a lot of license plates out there on cars with the license plate DMSR. It's cool. That's just cool. And when I was in high school, I was in the art club, and we bought like art club jerseys or whatever. And on the back of my shirt, I had DMSR. That was instead of my last name, I had DMSR. Automatic is the next song, and Automatic is once again another album cut. Is not meant for release. I think it was released as a single. I know he did a video for it, but it's more of an album song, and it has a techno feel to it, and it's kind of hard to. One of the good things about the 1999 album is that the songs are hard to be quantified. They just are. And that's a great thing because the songs can't be placed into a certain genre or shoehorned into anything that was really on radio at that time. Even listening to it today, because that's why the album is so great, is that you can listen to these songs today and they still sound fresh and new. And Automatic is definitely one of those types of songs. It's just a jam. A great song. Next up is Something in the Water Does Not Compute. One of my favorite Prince songs of all time. It's definitely in my top 10 all-time greatest Prince songs. It definitely has a pop techno feel to it. This song kind of reminds me of a song that was really there was a song called Numbers that was done by, I forget the group, a German group, Kraftwerk. Did a song called Numbers. That's what Something in the Water kind of reminds me of when I listen to it. Must be something in the water they drink. It's been the same with every girl I've had. Must be something in the water they drink. Why else would a woman want to treat a man so bad? It's a great song. Oh my God, it's a great song. I'm going to listen to it after I finish this review. Great song. But it's an acquired taste. It's definitely an acquired taste. A lot of people probably sleep on this song. I'm not one of them. Next is Free. Now, Free is a ballad. And me and Sean discussed this song in detail a couple weeks ago when we did our podcast. And that was the one song for him that he thought was a weak cut on this album. I disagreed vehemently, and we both settled on the fact that the song really doesn't have a place on the album because it comes after Something in the Water, and it leads into the next song, which is Lady Cab Driver. So the song being a ballad on this kinetic, high energy jam of an album, it kind of pumps the brakes a little bit. And we surmise that Prince may have had the same problem with this song as far as where to put it on the album. You couldn't put it after 1999. You couldn't put it after DMSR. But where does it go? And my opinion was that this song is like halftime. It goes from Something in the Water, which closes out just a tremendous first half of the album. Then Free is your respite, and then it leads you into the dynamic second half of the album, starting with Lady Cab Driver. Now, Free is a great song because it's a political song. It's speaking just about that, about being free in America to do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be, and there's nothing that can stop you. And it's a great message, great hook, but it's a slow song. It's a ballad. And I think if there's a song that you want to skip, this would be the song. I never skip it. But if there's a song to skip on this album, it would be Free. But that's not putting it down. Lady Cab Driver, one of his most popular songs. And of course, Lady Cab Driver is a dirty song as well. A lot of folks really like the melody and the vocal arrangement, the sound effects, the bridge, and the things that he did in the last part of that song with the girl in the backseat of the cab. Classic stuff. All the Critics Love You in New York. Now, this is a controversial song because when I talk to Prince fans, they always say, well, that song's kind of weak. It really didn't deserve to be on the album. Bullshit. All the Critics Love You in New York is Prince personified. It's a song that really cannot, like most of the songs on this album, as I said before, it's a song that can't be quantified. It just is. And that don't make it bad. I love the fact that his songs are so challenging that you really have to think and dig into the minutia of the song to get a clearer understanding of it. And I've always said that Prince, when it came to his music, especially the early part of his career, he's a musical genius. He's always been the smartest person in the room. And I think he just naturally assumes that if you listen to his music, you're going to get it. And if you don't get it, that's your problem, not his. And I think that's the way that he went about making music. He wanted to challenge us because he wasn't going to stoop to our level, so to speak. I don't mean in a bad way, but he wasn't going to dumb down his music for the masses. You had to elevate your game to keep up with him. And I think a song like All the Critics Love You in New York is a great example of that. And finally, track number 11, International Lover, one of the greatest slow jams ever written, period. This song is sex on vinyl, sex on CD, sex on cassette, or 8-track. You know your sounding preferences better than I do. Quick story. When I was a young man, early 20s, on my own, feeling my oats, messing around with girls and everything, like most dudes, I had a mixtape, slow jam tape. I called it Strictly for Lovin', and I kept it in my apartment or in my room wherever I was living at that time. And whenever I would have young ladies come over, and we're listening to music or whatever, we're chilling, my tape Strictly for Lovin' would be prominently, strategically placed somewhere to where they could see it. And inevitably, when you're with a young lady, or at least when I was with a young lady, they would inevitably say, "Ooh, what's that?" I said, "That's Strictly for Lovin'." "Can I hear it?" "Nah, girl." "Why?" "Because that's Strictly for Lovin'." "Well, I want to hear it." "You read that title of that mixtape? Strictly for Loving. Well, I want to hear it anyway. I said, okay, at your own risk, but I gotta warn you, there's a song on here that by the time that song comes on, if that song comes on, excuse my French, we fucking. And that song was International Lover. I always tell them, if you hear that song and you're in my presence, you're gonna be naked. And 100% of the time, I was like, I'm warning you, if I put it on, it's gonna be on and popping. 100% of the time, put it on, put it on, put it on. Nah. I ain't giving you nothing. Trust me. If you hear this song, we doing something. And 100% of the time it worked. International Lover. Sex on Vinyl. Love this song. And my favorite part of the song, of course, is near the end where he kind of reaches his climax and he lets out that sonic scream that he's so well renowned for, and is like an orgasm. I love this song. But yeah, Strictly for Loving, International Lover. Back then, back in the day, that tape went in, your clothes came off. Only Prince could do that. All right, so to sum it up, 1999 is my favorite Prince album of all time. It's number one on my list because I strongly feel that every song on this album is a masterpiece. Every song, 11 songs on one album, not a dead spot. Every song is magnificent. I've never ever in my life heard an album, before or after, where every song I felt was absolute perfect genius, and it fits the whole narrative of the album. It's not a concept album per se, it's a party album, but everything kind of flows one song into the next. And like I said, free, if there is a song that you can skip, it is free. That doesn't mean that the song is not a masterpiece. It's just that when it fits within that narrative, if you're looking to push ahead, you can push ahead through Free. But Free is an awesome song. I don't recommend skipping over any song if you're listening to this album and you really are trying to get into the music. Listen to every song, listen deeply, listen intently. Every song is a masterpiece. My favorite of these songs on this masterpiece of an album is Something in the Water Does Not Compute. And I highly recommend, if you are getting into Prince, trying to learn more about him, his music, this is a can't miss album. It must be part of your collection. Once again, Prince, 1999, his best album ever. My favorite Prince album. Don't miss it. This is what Lonzo thinks. Bye.